You want to understand what's really going on beneath the surface of all this crazy internet stuff,
Yeah.
like, meme coins.
Yeah, those are pretty wild.
They are wild, but also kind of fascinating. I mean, think about it. These
Mm.
things, they're like internet inside jokes that somehow end up having real world value.
You got it. And today we are diving deep into that world, the world of meme coins. We've got some really interesting material to work with today.
We do?
We're going to be looking at this project called MEW Cat in a Dog's World. Sounds intriguing already, right?
Definitely. Cats and dogs, classic eternal struggle.
Yeah, and then we're going to be looking at this concept of a cult coin strategy.
Ooh, cold coin. That's a new one.
It's a very interesting framework for understanding these coins developed by an investor named Murad. And we also have some info straight from the Turbo Token universe.
Very cool.
So yeah, lots to dig into today.
There is, so like, what's the big question here? Why do these things, these meme coins, why do they take off the way they do? What makes some of them actually stick around while others,
They vanish.
vanish exactly? And like, what is this whole thing, this meme coin craze? What does it say about us?
Yeah.
About like online communities and how we interact?
Even like broader societal trends, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. Big questions today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. Let's get started. So this cult coin strategy by Murad, like where do we even begin with that?
Well, it's a fascinating way of looking at meme coins. He essentially argues that as traditional social structures, things like religion
Yeah.
start to play a different role in society, meme coins kind of step in and they fill some of these basic human needs.
Interesting. Okay, so he talks about this shift in the product market fit for traditional religion.
Yeah.
What's he getting at there?
Basically, there's a ton of data out there showing that people are increasingly less involved with organized religion. They're not going to church. They're not attending services. And historically, these institutions were so much more than just about spirituality. They provided a sense of community. They offered shared values, social support systems.
That's a good point. Like you'd meet people there, build relationships, find your place in the world almost.
Exactly. It was really central to how society functioned for a long time.
And so as people move away from those traditional structures, all those functions, they don't just disappear.
No, they don't. They kind of disperse. Some of them move online. Some find new forms of expression.
Some maybe aren't met at all anymore.
Right. And the thing Murad focuses on is community. It's not as easy to find that sense of belonging in the same way it used to be.
So that's where meme coins come in. They're like this new way to form communities.
In a way, yeah. You could say they're tokenizing community. Think of a meme coin community as like a digital water cooler.
I like that.
A space where people gather around shared jokes, shared beliefs.
So he's arguing that cryptocurrencies, and specifically meme coins, they're tapping into this basic human need to be part of something.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because for any cryptocurrency to work at all, you need a group of people who believe in it enough to actually use it.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's right. And Murad says that meme coins, they just have this much more direct and engaging way of building that community.
Like more so than some of the super technical, utility-focused crypto projects.
Right. It's because all that complex technology, it can be a huge barrier for most people.
Totally. And for a lot of people who buy meme coins, it's not really about the tech. It's more about being part of the community, the shared experience.
Yeah. And the potential to,
Make some money.
Yeah, of course. That's always part of it, too.
Okay, now what about this thing he says about fair launches versus like those coins backed by venture capitalists?
Oh, that's a really important point. He argues that having a bunch of VC money behind a project can actually hurt the community in the long run.
How so?
Well, think about it. By the time those VC-backed projects are available to the public, most of the early gains have already been made by the big investors. And then those investors often have scheduled releases of their tokens, which can drive the price down. And that can really dampen enthusiasm.
Totally kills the vibe.
Exactly. But meme coins, especially those with fair launches, they tend to have a more equitable distribution.
So everyone's kind of on an even playing field.
Yeah, and that creates a stronger sense of shared ownership, which is crucial for a young community.
Makes sense. So Murad doesn't just randomly pick meme coins, right? He actually has a set of rules for finding those with potential.
He does. And it's not just about which animal is trending on Twitter.
Okay, good to know. So what does he look for?
First, he says you got to look for value-driven cult coins.
Value-driven.
Yeah, so coins that are built around a shared value or belief, something deeper than just a funny picture.
So not just like a random animal, but something with a bit more substance.
Exactly. He actually even has some reservations about the whole cats sector. He's not fully convinced yet.
Interesting. And what about those sectors he does watch closely? He mentioned a few.
Yeah, he's got this whole list. Movements, masculinity, culture, frogs, cats, schizoid, phrases, and countries.
Wow, quite the range.
It is, right? But notice he specifically excludes coins that are built around celebrities or political figures.
Oh, why is that?
He doesn't think those have the same potential to create a truly devoted following.
So it's got to be something that resonates on a deeper level.
Yes. He also prefers coins on established blockchains like ETH and SOL.
Okay, so Ethereum and Solana.
Yeah. While new blockchains might have potential, he likes the stability and the large user base of the more mature ecosystems.
Makes sense. And what about the memes themselves? Does he care about where they come from?
He does. He likes coins based on real-world memes, stuff that has recognition outside of the crypto bubble.
So like Doge or Pepe?
Exactly. Those have this widespread cultural relevance that gives them staying power.
Okay, so we've got the values, the blockchain, the meme itself. What else does he look for?
This is where it gets really interesting. He talks about the importance of community strength. He calls it the strength of the cult.
The cult, okay. How do you even measure that?
Well, he says you look for high levels of activity, people creating their own memes, inside jokes.
Like their own little language?
Exactly. Shared mantras, a clear philosophy, even a sense of exclusivity, like you need to be in the know to really belong.
So it's got to feel like a real community, not just a bunch of random people buying a coin.
Absolutely. He also likes to see that a coin has already weathered some price drops. Like, it's been through some tough times, but the community has held strong.
Shows resilience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he suggests focusing on coins with a market cap between $50 million and $200 million.
Interesting. Why that range?
He thinks it's the sweet spot, big enough to have some real momentum, but not so big that it's missed its chance for major growth.
Okay, so kind of a Goldilocks zone for meme coins.
Got it.
And his final rule, what's that?
Buy and hold. He believes that if you find a truly successful cult coin with all these factors in place, the best strategy is to just hold on for the long haul.
Okay, let's see how this all plays out in practice. Let's talk about MEW. MEW, a cat in a dog's world.
Okay.
I mean, even the name sets up a rivalry. It's like cats versus dogs. What's the story here?
The material we have definitely paints this picture of a community that's driven by this rebellious spirit.
Yeah.
They're the underdogs, the cats fighting against the dogs, specifically the Shiba Inu coins, which they call Shiba Toni.
Interesting. So they're like fighting against the establishment.
Yeah, very much an us versus them kind of vibe.
One of their taglines is, "I am here to save you all from this rat race."
Yeah,
That's pretty dramatic for a cat meme coin.
it is, right?
Yeah.
But it really emphasizes that strong community narrative. And they have lines like, if we work together, we can finally escape their world.
So they're building this whole story, this whole mythology.
Absolutely. And it's not just talk either. They're actually building a whole ecosystem around MEW.
Okay, what kind of ecosystem?
They've integrated with all these major platforms like CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap so people can easily track the price.
Right.
They're on trading platforms like DexScreener and DexTools, and they're compatible with the Phantom wallet.
So they're making it easy for people to buy, sell, and trade.
Exactly. And their tokenomics are clearly defined. They have a fixed total supply. They burned 90% of the liquidity pool, and they did a 10% airdrop to the Solana community.
Wait, hold on. Burning the liquidity pool, what does that mean?
It means they took a huge chunk of the tokens and basically destroyed them.
Why would they do that?
It's a signal to the community that they're serious about the project. It reduces the risk of something called a rug pull, where the creators suddenly abandon the project and run off with everyone's money.
Oh, okay, so it's like a way to build trust.
Yeah, exactly. And the airdrop, that was a way to get the token into the hands of lots of people in the Solana community.
It's a way to kind of kickstart the community.
Yeah. But the most interesting thing to me is their move into media.
Media, what do you mean?
They're partnering with Los US Animation Studios to create an animated series.
Wow, seriously?
Seriously. And they have a blog coming up. They're making short videos, doing collaborations. They even have a MEW app in development.
An MEW app.
Yep. And it's going to have all this cool stuff. You can watch content, play games, learn about crypto, and even earn MEW tokens.
So they're really building a whole world around this meme coin.
They are. It's way more than just a speculative asset.
Okay, so let's put MEW through Murad's filter. Does it have that core value he talks about? I mean, cats versus dogs is a rivalry, but Is it a value?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's definitely not as clear-cut as some other examples, but you could argue that this idea of the underdog, the cats rebelling against the dominant dog coins, that could be seen as a
Like
value.
a fight for freedom or something?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
their focus on community and building this whole creative universe, that could fit into his movements or culture sectors.
right. And it's on Solana, which Murad likes.
Yeah.
Plus, all this activity around media, the animated series, the app, that suggests a really strong community.
It does. This is a community that's actively creating and engaging with the MEW world, not just passively holding tokens.
Okay, now let's talk about Turbo Token. This one is totally different. It was literally created by AI, GPT-4 to be exact, with like a $69 budget.
Yeah, that's its claim to fame.
It's like the ultimate meme origin story.
It is, right. And it's positioned as this meme coin made by AI for the people. The whole focus is on decentralization and community-driven growth.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Well, they made the contract renounced, which means the creators gave up control of it.
Interesting.
There are no transaction taxes, the entire supply is in circulation, and the launch was completely crowdfunded.
So it's like completely in the hands of the community.
Yeah, the guy behind it, Rep Mankind, he basically said he wanted to create a token that was totally out of his control.
He just set it loose.
Exactly. And they're building something called Turbo Chain on Aurora, which is part of the Near-It protocol.
Turbo Chain. Okay, what's that about?
It's supposed to be a platform for artists, innovators, and developers. It's like they're trying to build a whole ecosystem around Turbo Token.
So it's not just a meme, it's a platform.
Yeah. And get this, it's already listed on over 120 spot exchanges.
That's a lot.
It is. Plus, they're doing all these collaborations, trying to get the word out there.
And one more thing, they made all the Turbo brand assets public domain.
Oh, yeah, that's a really cool move. It means anyone can use the Turbo logo, the name, anything without any restrictions.
So it's like truly owned by the community.
Exactly. They want the community to take it and run with it.
Okay, let's think about Turbo in terms of Murad's strategy. Does it have that core value?
It's a little more abstract than MEW's cats versus dogs thing.
Yeah.
But you could say that the fact that it was created by AI, that in itself is a value. Or the emphasis on decentralization, community empowerment.
So it's the way it came into being and the principles it stands for.
Right. It's like it's a meme coin that's trying to disrupt the whole system.
I can see how that would appeal to some people.
Yeah. And it's on multiple blockchains, including Solana, which fits with Murad's thinking. Plus, they're building Turbo Chain, doing collaborations. There's definitely a dedicated community there.
So even though the memes might not be as like culturally iconic as Doge or Pepe, the community is united around this idea of a decentralized AI-powered future.
That's a good way to put it.
So we've got these two very different projects,
Mm.
MEW and Turbo. Both are trying to build communities, but in different ways.
Yeah, and they both highlight something really important about meme coins. For a lot of people, the technology itself is secondary.
It's more about the community, the shared experience.
Exactly. And it's about this desire to be part of something, to have fun, to maybe even rebel a little bit against the establishment.
Like those cats taking on the dogs.
Exactly. And I think that's something that's really fascinating about this whole meme coin phenomenon. It's like a window into how people are forming communities and finding meaning in this digital age.
It's a reflection of our times, for sure. I mean, think about it. We have MEW, these cats fighting against the Shiba Tony, and we have Turbo Token, this AI-created coin that's all about decentralization.
It's wild, right?
It is wild. So to wrap things up, it seems like meme coins, while often dismissed as just silly internet trends, they're actually a lot more than that. They tap into this fundamental human need for connection and shared identity.
Yeah.
We can see that playing out in both MEW and Turbo, even though they have such different origin stories and narratives. Both are ultimately about community and shared purpose.
And I think that's a really important takeaway.
It is. So as we leave you today, think about this. What other aspects of our lives might get tokenized in the future? What other social movements or communities might find new ways to express themselves and organize through these digital assets?
It's a question worth pondering. Is this just a fad, or are we witnessing a real shift in how communities form and function in the digital world?
We encourage you to explore these communities for yourselves, see what they're all about, and consider the motivations at play.
Yeah, that's the best way to understand it.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been fun.
Until next time.
See you then.